Okay, good morning, everybody. We are returning to the Oni-Cut Anvil brews. First, thank you, Tyler, for the 28 months. It's a long ass time. And for Fly, 20 months, another long time. So this list is pretty clearly kind of a combination of the deck we were playing on Wednesday. Punks Undead, 9 months, appreciate ya. And then Arya's list, which we played against on. Let me pull up that list real quick. We played against a really sick brew, and then our opponent told us they were playing Arya's list, and Arya wrote a guide for this deck for CFB Pro, actually. So if you're interested in finding a guide for this list, you can find it there. And this list was like really sick. It looked really strong. I think we lost the match. Maybe we won. But I really just I was really impressed by Ravenous Squirrel, which is of a Cauldron Familiar, where basically you sack the Familiar, put a counter on Squirrel. You sack the food token, get a counter on Squirrel. So that's 2 counters to Squirrel every single turn. Bauble, Ragavan treasures trigger Squirrel too, and in this deck Bombardment does as well. But I wanted to try it out in the kind of artifact sec list we've been playing. So I'm still playing Disciple of the Vault, still playing Synthesizer, still playing Oni-Cut Anvil. In this list, Disciple is less of a combo kill you card with Arcbound Ravager, and you're more so just trying to nickel them, dime them out with Witches of Cauldron Familiar, kind of doubles up damage there. Triggers off Bauble, triggers off Ragavan tokens, triggers off your Anvil sacking, triggers off of Synthesizer being sacked too. This is maybe the one card I'm not 100% sure on, but I did test this list last night. This is not an untested list, and it felt the Disciple did feel pretty good. I will also say this list felt better than the other version we were playing. The curve's a lot lower. I think that you're more threat dense. You come out the gate faster. Your clock is a lot faster because we're also playing 4 Galvanic Blast, 3 Shrapnel Blast. I think it makes a lot of sense to me if we're trying to deal them damage over time with Disciple of the Vault, attack with big Ravenous Squirrels, drain them with Anvil, that we also just have this cohesive burn plan. And then Galvanic Blast is very often going to be 1 mana 4 damage. And then Shrapnel Blast also has sacrifice synergies here, where sacrificing triggers your Ravenous Squirrel, you can sack Synthesizer for value, which is pretty strong. We also get access to Lurrus as a companion in this deck, which is a pretty big game. So I'm pretty excited about this deck. Again, shout out to Arya for giving a lot of inspiration here. Her Red Black Squirrel list is super sick, really sick. Mayhem Devil seems nuts. Is it good enough to push Lurrus out? Well, so I tested Mayhem Devil out in a different version that for the version we played on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I really felt like it was really high on the mana curve in this list, where it was very hard to we're trying to assemble Arcbound Ravager, Mayhem Devil there, and it was really hard to get both of those in play at the same time through a removal spell. I will say that for a deck like this to succeed, for a deck like John Dragon Stompy to succeed, hold on, let's think about this hand for a second. We can probably keep this on the play. For a deck like John Dragons to succeed, you have to understand that just ramping into 5-7 mana dragons, this is not going to win you games in most matches of Modern. If this is what you want to do in Modern, how you're gonna have to do it is you're gonna have to play Blood Moon in your deck, and then you're gonna have to ride those Blood Moons to victory. You know what I mean? I don't know what this card does. Oh, this is the there's another card like that that's I'll play in standard. Okay, I'm gonna play Ragavan. I could go dash Ragavan. But I think hitting them for a few turns is going to be pretty valuable here. With double Disciple, you sack a treasure that's 2 life loss for them. Yeah, so I think you need 4 Blood Moons in here, and you're supposed to ride those Blood Moons to victory, and then you get to cast your big goofy dragons, right? So I feel like cutting the Kolaghan's Command, the Veil of Summer. I don't think this Dragon's Fire card seems to be very good. Maybe it's okay. I would probably play a 1-mana removal spell. I probably would just play Lightning Bolt instead. I would get some Blood Moons in the main deck, and then play Utopia Sprawl over Birds of Paradise for more mana generation. You can still be Jund. You might need to rework the mana base a little bit, not play so many Blood Crypts. Maybe Magus of the Moon is more important, but the problem is, like, you really need Blood Moon to carry you in most matchups, because this deck is really just not going to be that strong. Sideboard seems fine. I do like to have, like, you know, the 4 Thoughtseize in the 75, the Forces are good, the Free to Pushes are good. Although I do think if you main deck Blood Moon, you should lean more on the Lightning Bolts, of course. Alright, what's my opponent going to name here with Meddling Mage? Maybe Lurrus. They name Unholy Heats. Not a card in my deck. Okay, so I can't actually play Anvil and Galvanic Blast this turn. So we just attack with Ragavan. I cannot believe that they just took that. That is so absurdly good for me. I cannot describe to you how good that is. I cannot convey how good it is that they just decided to take that. Alright, I think these are my thoughts on the list. Comment, 14 months, appreciate you. Any Grixis today? Probably not, I didn't test it last night. I was working on this list instead. Ooh, a secluded courtyard. They got an Adeline. Grixis list, control of some kind. More of a mid-rangey list with Kaito. Still trying to get that working. Okay, I'm just gonna, I think, take this hit. Take this hit. Shrapnel Blast to Adeline, sacking this. I get another token back. I guess we'll see what we draw. Oven is interesting. Could it be better to make a token here? I don't think so. So Borg team to 15 months. Appreciate you. It's a long time. That's back. Oven the token, sack food to blast. Well, what does that accomplish besides just having your oven tapped for no reason, right? Like the end result is the same as this, but the oven is tapped, right? The anvil only makes 1 token a turn, so I don't know if that's the confusion. Dahlia, trigger the champ. Might chump block and sacrifice here. Extra sack for 2 more damage. I mean, I still have the ability to yeah, it is more damage, that's true, but I still have the ability to tap this at some point. I guess, yeah, you're right, it is 2 more damage, right? It is 2 more damage. Yeah, I should have. There's gonna be some learning curve here. There's like, you know, I know there's a lot of tricks here. Hey Pitalia, welcome to the stream. Can Anvil sack the token? Yeah, I can sack any artifact, but you only get a token the first time an artifact leaves the battlefield on your turn. It is certainly worded a bit weird, right? I think we'll make a token here. And then I think we grab a Mishra's Bauble. That's going to trigger our Anvil. And it's also going to trigger the Disciples. And I'm going to Bauble myself with the fetch land, so... Triggers, triggers here. Man, I really like this deck. It was I played I think only 3 matches with it last night because me and Esther wanted to watch the season finale of Peacemaker, which was really good. Ooh, Galvanic Blast off the top. I'm gonna keep that on top, I think, but I can't cast it, but it should be able to present lethal next turn. Yeah, me and Esther wanted to watch the season finale of Peacemaker, and it was good. We also met with our realtor last night. That went really well, I think. But the deck in the 3 matches I played testing it last night felt pretty good. I did realize why Arya had the Stomping Ground in her list is that Ravenous Squirrel it requires green mana to sacrifice the card, or you have to activate the ability. Yeah, yeah. Game action's more fun than winning. Was Monkey in the first version? No, Monkey wasn't in the first version I was playing. No. But there are, there's a lot of synergies with the Ragavan. Like, if you hit them with Ragavan on, okay. Are we sacking to the oven? Yeah, let's sack to the oven because we get extra food here. Yeah, so really all we have to do is survive and keep Metalcraft for the Galvanic Blast that we're drawing. Should be good. Any room for Mayhem Devil? Mayhem Devil makes you lose Lurrus. Mayhem Devil is a really strong and powerful card. It would be fine in this list. That being said, I did test it in... Oh boy. Well, I guess that means we have to keep fighting. They're still dead next turn anyways, I think. I did test Mayhem Devil. I can't cast this because of Thalia, of course. I did test Mayhem Devil in the first version. I thought it was like really... It like, you know... I don't know. I like Mayhem Devil a lot in Junsack. I think you really have to play Goblin Bombardment for Mayhem Devil to be great. But maybe it would be better here. Obviously, we are playing Cat Oven. We're on the other list. But you lose Lurrus as a companion. Lurrus is obviously really strong too. But it could be worth testing. If you really think Mayhem Devil is the way to go, I will tell you that you might be correct, and I would encourage you to test it. These Disciples have felt really strong too. I wasn't 100% sure the Disciples were going to be good, but these kind of fill the Mayhem Devil role a little bit. Obviously, they only ever hit your opponent. They don't trigger off of everything, but they are 1 mana instead of 3, which is big, right? Draven with 8 months. Appreciate you. Okay, so my opponent is dead. Let's just not waste time. Second food token. Anvil them. Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. This one's got... I think that this is a, you know, like, when we were playing the other deck on Tuesday, we didn't do very well, but I did really feel like there was something there, so I'm glad we've, you know, hammered it out. Got some inspiration from REM. Got some Dockside Chef in this list. Dockside Chef. I will read the card. Why didn't you respond to Blast from Kitesail Trigger? Well, like I said, when the Kitesail Trigger is put in the stack, there's a Thalia in play, and I can, you know, that makes the Galvanic Blast cost 2. Dockside Chef 1/1/2 black sacrifice artifact creature, draw a card. That card I've never read before. I'm gonna have to take a little bit to soak that in. Dockside Chef. That card is very interesting. Okay, I think I'm gonna trim on Shrapnel Blast for Terminates here. Still play 1 Blast. Let's take a closer look at it. Oh, this is a... Whoa, this is a new... Oh, it's 2 mana. Okay, sorry. I thought this was 1 mana to... Yeah, sorry, the text got broke up on my screen. It was 1, and then on the next line it said black. I thought it was just 1 black mana to sacrifice. I think if this mana ability was 1 black mana, this card would probably be very good, but at 2 mana to draw a card, I think it's actually not going to be something you want. Okay, let's keep this. Let's put back this Shrapnel Blast, I guess. Kind of a slow hand, but I think we keep on the mold to 6. 61 special. Oh, whoops. Okay, I guess we'll re-evaluate for game 3 potentially. I'm gonna hold the Bauble for Oni-Cut Anvil. Oh, you know, obviously if they have Thalia, this is worse. But we're on a mulligan, and our hand's kind of slow, so I think keeping like the highest upside card has got a lot of value, of course. Doesn't this deck go against my usual theory of not working with individually weak cards? Well, I will say that, like, a lot of the times when I'm talking to Twitch users, they're asking me about a lot of times the individually weak cards people are talking about are weak cards that are like cards that don't go in highly synergistic decks, if that makes sense. So it's like a lot of the times when I'm, you know, looking at deck lists or talking about these deck lists, and I tell, you know, the Twitch chatter that, you know, Bitter Blossom or, you know, most of the time they're like cards for mid-range control and aggro decks, and like these are cards that like you really do want to shy away from in these kind of decks. However, artifact decks like this do get to cheat on their card, or they do get to play lower card quality cards, because like this is a deck full of synergies, full of synergies and little incremental value that plays super well together. Kaito does not, and it's like Kaito doesn't make Bitter Blossom playable, you know? It's like this is usually not the issue I'm trying to solve or talk about when I talk about players not playing individually weak cards, you know? So I really want to keep the Anvil. The problem is my opponent knows I've got these cards in my hand. They name Anvil. Okay, so if they're gonna name Anvil, I think I should just kill the champion here. Okay, so I think I guess I should actually just go for Lurrus this turn. Why didn't I play Bauble? So my plan was to kill the Kitesail Freebooter with the Pyrite Spellbomb. Then next turn, play Anvil, play Bauble, sack Bauble, trigger Anvil. Was my game plan. Which is why I didn't play the Bauble. Which I think is going to be a pretty common line you take in this deck. If you have an Anvil, you wait to play Bauble till turn 2. You know what? I should have actually cast the Bauble. I should have already cast the Bauble to play around Thalia. But I shouldn't have sacrificed it. So that's gonna be something that you should do is play out the Bauble. But not sack it. Okay, so am I going to trade Ravenous Squirrel here for Meddling Mage? I don't hate that. Yeah, okay, they're not even offering the trade, which I think is not correct for them, because the Squirrel is about to become gigantic. We've got Thalia on top. I could cast a Synthesizer here. I think I'd rather just go Lurrus, Bauble, tap Blood Crypt, pass. Is this the new Red Black Pet deck? Maybe. I'm really excited about this deck. I woke up excited for this deck. I also woke up having a crazy fever dream where I was a shapeshifter, and at one point I shapeshifted into 6 individuals. 6 different individuals. It was crazy. I've never had a dream like that. It was wild. What does it mean? So they cast Thalia instead of violating it in. I mean, that doesn't give us really much info. Madara? Well, that would be pain, right? So if we have any dream interpreters in chat, that would be really useful to me. Okay, Saga for turn, Synthesizer. Let's go ahead and cast a Synthesizer. Thalia's pretty good against us. Ooh. So can I attack with a Squirrel? Oh, I should have just played Pyrite Spellbomb. Yeah, definitely should have played Pyrite Spellbomb. Well, I'm blasting with the 7 months. Appreciate you. Yeah, let's just wait. Spellbomb should be good for us, though. They have another freebooter. So they have their top card is Hierarch. They're going to be able to attack me for 3 no matter what. We better play a Spellbomb Bauble. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I was just so focused on generating value. Playing any Dreadnought. Yeah, I think my plan for today is play this deck until I'm tired of it or the list is proven to be needing some work, right? And Dreadnought's gonna be the backup deck, and then we got a few other decks possibly on backup. So next turn they're drawing Adeline. It's a very good draw. So we can't cast that Anvil because of the Meddling Mage. Can I attack? I'm gonna have... Well, I probably just need to lean in on Shadowspear on the Squirrel. We kill Flyer, make block. This is a 2/3, so I can't kill their good Flyer. That is true, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I get to block the 1/1 with the Lurrus. Great point. I also have, of course, the Urza Saga token, which will be just a 3/3 and then down to 2/2 and I sack the Spellbomb. We can save Bauble for next turn. I mean, I play Pyrite Spellbomb off the Lurrus. Yeah, I know they're not going to play Adeline pre-combat, or maybe they will and forget, right? But I know. Which is good for me, because I'm about to, you know, again, get the, get a Shadowspear, put on this giant squirrel. I'm gonna be alright. Hey Simon, how's it going? Do you ever do set reviews looking for those hidden potential cards, like how Death Shadow took so long? I usually post my thoughts on cards on Twitter. I always miss cards. Like I missed Synthesizer. I missed there's another card I missed. But it's like even if I like sit down and like do a stream set review, I'm gonna miss them. I sit down and look at all the cards individually, just like, especially in a set like this with all these, like, you know, interesting, unique artifacts. It's just so easy to miss stuff. I think I'm gonna not. Well, let's see. Hold on. So make a token, cast Squirrel, equip Shadowspear, and I can't play and sack Spellbomb. I'm talking about old sets. You like going through old sets and doing set reviews? I don't have time for that. Set reviews take like 3 or 4 hours, you know, and it's just like that is not the. I don't have the amount of time to commit energy to something like that at the moment. Yeah, I know we could play Insect Bauble, but I think I'd rather, you know, keep killing some of their creatures. Oh, you know, I should play Synthesizer. I should have played Synthesizer before my land. Yeah, I feel like this deck has the potential to be something special. Didn't mind on stream. Yeah, I guess I don't know what you mean then, right? Yeah, I don't know what you mean, but it's of the things like I'm interested in doing content on. That seems very low on the list. I don't know what medium you would want me to do that in, but I'm sure that there are some hidden gems out there, but that like doing set reviews of them is not the way to find them. In fact, a set review, if it's like a YouTube video or an article, it would be like 99% talking about cards that are not playable, as opposed to like just focusing in on like one hidden gem and doing an article on that, right? I mean, here's something we need to have a talk, chat. You guys are all addicted to Kolaghan's Command. It's really become quite unhealthy, actually. Every single one of you is just absolutely helplessly addicted to Kolaghan's Command. If I wanted to answer Chalice, I don't know that Kolaghan's Command is the answer I'd use. I might use Engineered Explosives, probably not Explosives. I might use Shattering Spree. But yeah, we could maybe play a card to answer Chalice. We have 19 lands in this deck. Kolaghan's Command is 3 mana. It's probably not it. You guys are all hopelessly addicted to putting Kolaghan's Command in all of your decks. I like the card too. The card's really fun. You guys are just, you know, I agree that we could use an answer for Chalice the Void. I'm also like kind of just okay trying to dodge it because it's, you know, Chalice is gonna be good against this no matter what. Yeah, like Smash the Smithereens or like Ancient Grudge off of like we do have a green land in the deck for Ravenous Squirrel's ability. Like this is probably like what I would board for Chalice, you know. You know, maybe making the mana like have more fetch lands, less Blackcleave Cliffs too. So my opponent told me that they're playing Glimpse. This is bad for us. I do think this deck is going to be kind of weak to spell-based combo like Glimpse. That being said, we do have some Thoughtseize in the sideboard. We also have a very fast hand here. And we're on the play. And maybe we'll just exile all 3 Glimpses with Ragavan, huh? It's gonna be a 4/4 Squirrel. Their top card is a Triome. Glimpse on top, which we get to exile with Ragavan, I guess. So I'm trying to think, do I want to activate Squirrel's ability or put Lurrus in my hand? Probably Lurrus. Well, I don't know. Lurrus doesn't really change the clock. They consider some Rabbit Battery for this deck. I don't know why you'd want Rabbit Battery in this deck. I think Rabbit Battery is good in Hammer Time. This is like, I still haven't finished hammering out the list, but it is something that is high on my list to do. Okay, so this is their second Glimpse. Only 3 permanents though, so, you know, obviously not that strong. But, you know, actually, not for 3 permanents, this is, you know, a pretty good hit, huh? Probably not gonna be able to win the game, but not bad either. Definitely would have made Lurrus last turn better. Want to eat one of my 3 rags? Oh yeah, that would have been better. Oh yeah, I would have had the mana to play another one. Yeah, I should just sacrifice the rag and replay it. I was just thinking that like this has value going to the graveyard. Okay, so this is a 6/6. My opponent has 5. Yeah, they've got enough to check me here, so I'm just gonna go for Lurrus. They've only got 1 land in play. They've already used 2 glimpses as well. So there's a chance that they draw the 3rd glimpse and they can't combo anymore. Tiger with the 8 months, appreciate ya. That being said, they can also like pretty easily. Oh, and does this sacrifice? No. But this is to put in the graveyard. Also no. Okay, never mind. Okay, so I'm gonna have an attack with this. Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, that's the line, man. This is the line. What's nice about this is it just, you know, does eat at least 2 of my opponent's permanents. Maybe probably 3 so they can crack a fetch land. Is it possible to play this without Monkey? Yeah, it would be possible to play this without Monkey. Monkey has a lot of synergies in the deck, but you can play like Full Dire and Epicer like in that spot as like a pretty reasonable budget replacement. So they're going to go to 1, which, you know, definitely implies they don't have a fetch land as their last land. So maybe they'll just sack their clue, huh? Okay. Library, yeah, if only this put the cards in the graveyard, we'd win too. Brant, thank you for the 2 months, appreciate ya. Can you activate Familiar as many times as you want before it actually hits the field? Yeah, I believe that you can. That definitely is aligned with Disciple. Okay, winning game 1 is huge, because I definitely don't think this matchup's very good, but we are on the play with a pretty aggressive hand. Which is, I think, an important part for building the deck this way, like very aggressive Shrapnel Blast, Galvanic Blast, is that, you know, you are, I think, going to be kind of inherently weak to spell-based combo, so just trying to be as fast as possible makes a lot of sense. And so, I think that, I might just want to cut these Oni-Cult Anvils, since we are just trying to be as fast as possible. These are good in, like, slower, grindier matchups. They do have some value, of course, like I wouldn't mind drawing one, maybe, but I think just being as low to the ground as possible makes sense. Should we bring Terminate in? Should we? I mean, like, we have Galvanic Blast, Shrapnel Blast for Omnath. Terminate is not very good against any other card in the deck besides Omnath. So you could make an argument maybe, but I don't really understand why. Probably hard to mulligan a Thoughtseize hand. Couldn't you have sacked your artifact to ping them with Disciple at the end? How could I have sacked an artifact? What artifact could I have sacked and how could I have sacked it? Do you like to spend the Asmo version? So far, yes. I playtested it last night. It felt better. It's been feeling better so far. Deck's been feeling faster, more powerful, which is a really good combination and it may be more consistent as well. So, like, you know, on all axes, I think it's firing better. Didn't I have Drum with Squirrel? Squirrel costs 3 mana to activate. I didn't have 3 mana to activate. So opponent's pulled to 5. I'm gonna bauble them, then Thoughtseize. Well, okay, well, if they're gonna fetch, then yeah, it's easy. So this is time we're new brews with Sauce is Anvil better than Bombardment? I don't know. Like, I mean, maybe, like, they're very different cards. Like, I don't think you're actually supposed to necessarily say that one is just better than the other. Okay, they shuffled and put a land on top. I might take the Glimpse, because if they suspend that Glimpse, it's going to be maybe more of a problem than just the Violent Outburst. Especially because they need a land to Outburst. I don't know, but yeah, it's exactly like you said. We're testing the Neo cards, but it's also like, it's not just Anvil. Like, Anvil plays really well with Synthesizer, which plays really well with this really low curve deck. Disciple of the Vault is really good with the Cauldron Familiar combo. It's not just like one or the other. Like, I think it's, definitely a combination of all of these pieces that come together pretty well, in my opinion. But yeah, Arya's list may end up being the better of the two. So, like, I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream. I want to shout out Arya a couple more times. I believe her username is PogHog_98. And she put this list together. We played against this list yesterday, which is a big inspiration for the list we're playing today. She's using Bloodghast Bombardment, Supplier Kroxa, kind of as like just a more focused graveyard deck, not really as in on the artifact synergies. And I'm trying out, the new artifact synergies here. And, we're just trying to see if this has legs. And it's definitely felt good so far. Which of the two variants is better? TBD. Yeah, so if we can maybe get a mod to shout out Arya. And also, you can find a guide for Arya's list on Channel Fireball Pro, a pretty good website. I hear it's a pretty good website. You didn't know Arya existed? Okay, I kind of... well, I mean, even if you didn't know Arya existed, now you know, and now you know, like, that list exists, right? So, like, if you're interested in that version, there it is. I didn't know about Arya either until yesterday. But, I do love that deck. So every time I see a deck I do like to shout it out. Yeah, but I was also not familiar with Arya till yesterday. Why no Asmo? My first version of this list had Asmo. I have talked about my thoughts already, but, getting Lurrus, being more consistent without Asmo, I think it makes a lot of sense to me. It's also true, like, you really can't fit everything in the deck. There's not room for everything. I think I'm making a token. Trying to present lethal next turn. Wish I brought a Needle. I could have needled the Scalding Tarn, but I did not bring in the Needle. So I'm pretty sure I'm just getting... Well, I could get Drum. I could get Drum and cast Synthesizer. Is that better than Witch's Oven, giving me an extra damage every turn? Asmo Daredevil don't work. I mean, it worked. I think this is it's just not definitely the best way to build it. Like, I wouldn't say that it didn't work. Yeah, I know Needle only gets fetch lands. Yeah, I guess it's probably reasonable for them to not play around it. I could also get Springleaf Drum so I can Galvanic Blast my opponent. I don't know, it's close. I think I'll get the Springleaf Drum just because, like, hitting a Thoughtseize off the Synthesizer would be a way I feel like I'm just winning the game. And, like, if it's like pretty close either way, I think, like, this feels like a good tiebreaker to me. If that makes sense. Okay, and so now I can play the second Synthesizer. I can just hold up Blast. Yeah, just hold up the Blast. Yeah. I heard that Arya was part of the Cube for Charity event too, which is cool. Okay, so not firing off the Violent Outburst. Oh boy. Okay, so am I blasting the plant token? Maybe I should just take it the Violent Outburst, but I feel like I didn't realize I was drawing Cat Oven for Bauble in turn, which really increased my clock by so much. Yeah, I don't know. Am I blasting the token so they go for one less permanent? I think I'm probably not. I think I'm probably not. I can like blast an Omnath that they get off of the Violent Outburst potentially. Spike you for charity next year. Yeah, Jim invited me to be part of it this year, but just like with the trophy race, I couldn't take 3 days off to queue as much as I might have liked to. Blade Man, 20 months, appreciate ya. Okay, just a Chancellor. Pretty beatable. Yeah, but I would be interested this year if I'm not trophy racing. I will say though, the winter season is probably the best time of the year to trophy race, which is because that is like the slowest time of the year set release wise, so it gives me something to focus on. Which is why I was doing it this last year. So I'll think about it. I would love to be a part of it, but reality is you just can't be a part of everything. Oh boy, that's probably going to be lethal or pretty close to it. Gives us the GGs. Don't think these actually do anything. That does something though. Yeah, they're dead. We could go. We get damage with the oven, damage with the 2 damage with the familiar, and then 4 with the Galvanic Blast. Awesome. 2-0-4-0. Okay, great hand. Is there a 2-minute way to kill Chalice and board? Just lose the Chalice, I think. It's just like, I haven't played against many Chalices lately, you know what I mean? So like, if I think the Chalice is going to be popular in the metagame, what I'm likely to do is play more fetch lands, and then play Ancient Grudge, which I can cast the front half of, and I can flashback off the Stomping Ground and Springleaf Drum. So like, -2 cliffs probably for 2 more fetch lands. But at the time, my plan is just to lose to Chalice, which I think is a wonderful plan. I love to lose to Chalice. Is the shot coming? Okay, thank you, Horsesuit. Yeah, that makes sense. Just, yeah, I want. Yeah, if we can make an Arya command and have it linked to her Twitch. I don't know if Twitch or YouTube or Twitter is better, maybe both. But I love Arya's deck, and so like when I see a sick list like that, I do like to shout it out. What about Rest in Peace? I mean, we're probably losing to that too. But I mean, it's like against Rest in Peace, like your game plan is you have Ragavan, you have Urza Saga, you're getting in there. You're a red-black deck. You could play like Natural State in the sideboard. But like, yeah, you have Galvanic Blast, Shrapnel Blast, Ragavan, Urza Saga. All of a sudden, like your game plan just becomes about killing them, rather than trying to like value them out, which I think is an okay game plan. Rest in peace, Squirrel. Yes, Ravenous Squirrel, very good card, very good card. Yeah, somehow 0 copies of Shambling Ghast. No. Taking the cats and the squirrels. 4 cards left in their hand still. Got a lot of good draws here, though. Synthesizer, Anvil play pretty well together. I'll go ahead and play the Synthesizer, I think. It would be great to hit a land. I'll definitely take, of course, any spell I can play, which is most of my deck because my curve is so low. Which is another reason why I really like Synthesizer in this deck. Like Synthesizer was fine in the other version, but like our curve is just like... hold on. I guess, okay. Well, I'll sort by mana curve, but this is how I want to lay out the deck. But just look at it. It's beautiful. I'm skeptical of Disciple. I am also skeptical of Disciple. It's been good so far, I will say. It's not a combo card like it was in the version we played earlier this week. In that version, we were definitely like trying to combo kill them with Ravager. In this version, you're more so just trying to nickel and dime them out. But it has felt reasonable to me, I'll say. So next turn I can play Anvil, sack Synthesizer, sack the token we get from Synthesizer to Oven to get back Familiar. They do have a 7/7 Murktide though. Ooh. That's an interesting card. Don't have enough mana to, you know, go super ham here. I think I play the Anvil, right? Anvil Sex Synthesizer would be great to find a land. Tasha's ruins us. Yeah. Well, you're soft to some cards, right? If you know, this is also, of course, something you have to realize when you're building like more synergy-based decks like this compared to the fair decks that we usually play on this channel. You're gonna be soft to to some cards. I might leave this in play to sack to Disciple of the Vaults. It's just kind of depend what our opponent's life total is, I guess. 2 Croaks over 2 Disciple. I don't like how much Croaks raises the mana base, but this is something else. Like, you could maybe end up doing that. I think Croaks would be fine. Croaks also has like no synergy in the deck besides just like being a red-black deck. That I guess it has very little synergy. I think if you play Croaks, so like your Galvanic Blast plan, Shrapnel Blast, Anvil, like all the the 2 Disciples you're still playing get a lot worse. I think Disciples have also been good so far. Not like, you know, I don't think absurdly good, but I think they've been good enough at least. So if I bring back the cat and they kill the cat, it is kind of awkward. I'm also trying to think if I play this. I think I'm going to go ahead and sack it. Yeah, land is just too important to not try to find. But yeah, then I have 9 damage here. I think it's fine to just untap. Okay, so we can't go for the kill, I think. It's at least going to be somewhat close. I just pass here, right? No, I want to sack the Bauble, trigger the Anvil on my turn. And then I get to sack the food token, trigger the Disciple again. Okay, they're going to blast. So let's go. I guess I don't need to Galvanic Blast them into the counterspell mana. But I can Cauldron Familiar, trigger Disciple. And then just let the heat resolve. They go down to 7. I can get them down to 6 with the Anvil. You know, theoretically 2 with the Galvanic Blast, but it does seem like they've got a counterspell up. People have talked a lot about. So I know that their top card is Heat, so they would have to graveyard that and then draw a Spell Pierce for me to like really get got here. So I think I'm gonna let this resolve. Yeah, they just draw the Heat, so now I'm gonna Galvanic Blast them. Oh, yeah, I do have 3 artifacts. I can get a 3rd if they heat in response with the Oven. Cut Oven Loop again. We could have. I think it might be good to just leave up the Oven, but maybe one more damage off the Disciple was super key there. They have a Bowmat Courier Ginger Brute. I don't like Ginger Brute without equipment. I've also played like a decent amount of Courier lately as a tutor target for Saga, and I feel like I never tutor for it. I'm like not that happy to naturally draw it. This is something we talk a lot about, where I do think that it is the tendency in Toolbox when you have tutors to like play too many tutors when you're brewing. And like I've played a decent amount with Bowmat lately. I basically never tutor it, and I basically never am like that happy to draw it. So I think you probably don't want it. Oh yeah, they're just gonna be dead next turn. Without like a Brazen Borrower, even with Borrower. Yeah, this deck, I'm really excited about this one. My favorite days are when like I off stream, get a really good list together, and am able to come to the stream and just have like a sick list, you know. It's just my favorite days. So I guess they can heat the familiar. They can heat the familiar. Oh, I have to second artifact. So they go to 2. So I should just I could just Anvil. Would Lurrus be cuttable to fit some devils? I don't think so. Like, one thing, like, what do you cut for the devils? Probably Disciple of the Vault. The Disciple of the Vault's been very good. Like, it's also like raising your mana curve in your Synthesizer deck is very awkward as well. Whoa, they actually had Charm here. But they only have one card. Okay, that's this. Oh, you can just sack this to itself, too. Yeah, Anvil's pretty good, huh? So, Andrew thinks content, any chance we'll see some more sweet Kaito brews? Yes, I'm working on some Kaito decks. I'm trying to work on more off-stream. Because I feel like I want people to believe in Kaito like I do, so I don't want to, you know, come in half-cocked, if that makes sense. I'm gonna play a 3 Disciple 1 Shrapnel Blast. Kaito and cards incoming. I don't know, probably not. Yeah, Anvil's been looking pretty good so far. I like the card a lot. You don't like Thoughtseize, here for Murktide and Moon. Not really. It can be fine. I'm like not that scared about Murktide, I think. I have Terminate in the deck for it, and I'm also like, I think just able to play a cohesive game plan. Can we waive don't increase the curve argument for any deck? Almost impossible, so you think that's to raise it. Can we waive the don't increase the curve argument for the deck? No, we can't, because it's super important in this deck to understand that raising the curve in your experimental synthesizer deck is like, you know, bad deck building, I think. Or at least it's like inadvisable, right? And that's like this is my experience playing with the new card, is that raising the mana curve with synthesizer, it has felt pretty bad. But if your curve is super low like this, then the synthesizers are good. So I think communicating that about the new card is more important than waiving the rebuttal. Who am I? Brian Kibler with triple Galvanic Blast? How's this deck with Chalice 1? I mean, you just fucking lose, probably. But, like, Chalice 1 is also, like, not that popular. So, if Chalice was popular in the format, which I don't really feel like it is at the moment, I would recommend playing, I think I'm making tokens here. If Chalice was popular, I would recommend Ancient Grudge in the sideboard, maybe playing more fetch lands so that you can facilitate the green splash easier. But you're already playing a green land for Ravenous Squirrel activation. But at the time of making this comment, I do recommend just losing, man. It's just like Chalice is not common enough at the moment to, like, I think really justify too many sideboard cards. And then when people start playing Chalice, then you start playing sideboard cards for it. I feel like you got to be like, if you don't think that the hate card for your deck is popular in the format for your synergy based deck like this, which is this deck is absolutely, of course, highly synergy based. If you think the hate card that's good against you is not popular, that's a good reason to play your deck. And then if like the premium hate piece for your synergy-based deck is really popular, you should honestly like reconsider playing like if Blood Moon is super popular, you're gonna see people play less Tron and Titan, right? And if main deck Chalice is really popular, you're gonna see people play less Living and Rhinos in a deck like this. And you can obviously like sideboard to hedge against them if they're not like tier 0, but for the most part these synergy-based decks in Modern, you do lose to hosers. It's just that's always been the dynamic of Modern, and there's not like a clean way to get around that. There's not like a clean, you know, easy answer to how to overcome being weak to hate cards in a deck like this. Just lose, you know. How do you feel about Traverse? I've been playing a lot with Traverse lately. I think it's fine. It's not as good as I had maybe hoped. Alright, 7 cards in their hand. Land would be pretty nice here. Am I going to triple Galvanic Blast this, or like double and then get 1 counterspell? I think so. I'm not really sure how I lose if I'm not really sure how I lose if I kill this Murktide. Who am I? Brian Kibler? Okay. They didn't have a counterspell, so obviously I wish I maybe played the Anvil instead. Yeah. You also have Ragavan and Urza Saga as like, you know, ways that you can like just randomly beat hate cards, right? I'm not saying like you are actually 0% to beat a hate card, but what I am saying is it's okay to be at peace with taking an L to a hate card. It's a good attitude to have. Oh yeah, they did miss 2 food. I mean, can you blame the Murktide player for not being familiar with having Witch's Oven in play? It's hard to really fault them too much. What do you think of his Jutsu Kumzal, Red Black Rock? Well, you lose Lurrus Companion, and it also exiles your own graveyard, which is awkward for Darcy and Kroxa. I feel like the card is powerful, but it's like really weird to find like an actually good spot for it. So I can play Anvil here, or I can put Lurrus into my hand. I think I'm going to play the Anvil. Let me attack first. Bulvers for the 7 months. Appreciate ya. Yeah, I think both of the channel lands are going to be good in Rakdos mid-range. I think that you can cut 2 Blackcleave Cliffs from that deck, since like you already have 3 Din of the Bugbear, so like the fast lands are, you know, a bit more awkward in that list than maybe you might like. Yeah. Man, this list has been awesome so far. They got a Darcy. Have 4 artifacts. Should be pretty safe to heat. Gonna say Graveyard Hate is better against this deck. I mean, they're both Graveyard Hate or Artifact Hate. They're both very good. You're soft to Graveyard Hate, Chalice, and Artifact Hate. I don't know. They're all good. I don't know what's necessarily the best. I would say Artifact Hate is probably better, to be honest. Or like, you know, you're probably not that weak to like Relic of Progenitus or Nihil Spellbomb, but you are like a lot weak, or like maybe Voidwalker because you can kill it. But like Rest in Peace is definitely a card that seems difficult to beat. No, we don't have Mayhem Devil. We've got Lurrus. I think you don't. I've played Mayhem Devil in like the first version of this deck. I didn't like it that much. I liked Mayhem Devil a lot, like when in Jun Sack. Like I think it's a better fit there, where your curve's higher. You're playing Coco on Earth, 2 important cards for Mayhem Devil. Blood Gas Bombardment also like very key, like combo piece with Devil. Whereas like this deck is just more like incremental value, which is fine, but perhaps not ideal. They got explosives on 1, which kills my oven and kills my cat, which is not too bad. Also kills their oven. So I can sack my oven. How's it feeling compared to Jun Sack? Well, this is our first league with this 75. My first league too, because the list I was testing last night was like 3 cards different, but last night also felt pretty good, I guess. But we're currently 2-0, 2-0, 4-0, and I think we're about to be 3-0, 6-0. You consider Meat Hook Massacre? I'm not of the opinion Meat Hook Massacre is playable in Modern. I think that it is very slow, it is very cumbersome, and it is like often win more. But my impression of the card could be wrong. It's not a card I've super seriously considered, so my evaluation could be off. Okay, so bring back Oven. We're pretty close to lethal. Let me see if we have it. So this is going to be down to 8, then 7 off the Oven, 6 off the Anvil, 0 from the Construct token. So yeah, we got lethal here. The one of Shrapnel Blast. We have 3 in the main. We only have 1 post board. Yeah, I really like being like more like the Galvanic Blast, Shrapnel Blast, giving this deck like a cohesive burn plan. Feels really good to me when you're chipping them away with Oni-Cult Anvil and Disciple of the Vault. I think that it makes a lot of sense to like be in on this direction. Yeah. You can beat them with Urza Saga, right? Like when I say just lose, I don't mean you lose 100% of the time. You can beat them with Urza Saga. You can have a Ragavan in play. You can Lurrus. You do have some spells that cost 2 mana. But for the most part, you're gonna lose, and that's okay. A tale as old as time, losing to hate pieces in Modern. How bad do you think Boseiju hurt Mono Green Tron? I think Boseiju helped Mono Green Tron than it hurt it. Helped it more than it hurt, since now Boseiju gets access to main deck hate for Rest in Peace. Sorry, not Blood Moon, sorry, not Rest in Peace. Blood Moon, Alpine Moon. I would say Boseiju is more of an asset to Tron than a detriment. So is this Mistlesaurus Arias? It was inspired by... So I played a... You can find the list I started with on Twitter like Tuesday, Wednesday. And then we played against Aria's deck on... yesterday. But Aria's list is like 30 cards different probably. Like Aria's list is... I love Aria's list, but Aria's list is playing... We can pull it up one more time because I do think it's good to talk about it. I love this list. I wanna highlight it. But Aria's list is playing... Krokusagaba Bombardment, Blood Gas, Stitcher Supplier, Bone Shards, and it's also playing 24 lands because the curve is higher. I think you could maybe go down to 23 though, or like 23 over like at least the first Springleaf Drum I thought was good. Yeah, it's pretty different. Like this, and this is I'm trying to like build around the new artifact synergies here too. Okay, let's play. I think Squirrel Saga. But that list is very cool. She just put a guide for up on CFB Pro. I would really recommend reading that. I think that list is awesome. All right, 2/3 Tarmogoyf. Can't quite blast it. I lost my oven, but I can get another oven next turn. I guess I could have fetched after combat because they might attack and do me some damage. Glad you like the stream, Arrow. Appreciate you saying that. What about Tekanuma? I think Tekanuma's fine. You could play it in this deck. My land count's kind of low, so and I've got 4 Urza Saga, so I'm trying not to be like super duper greedy with my utility lands, but you could play it. It'll be fine. Ever thought of using Cat Oven with Genesis Chamber? I haven't. There could be something there. I do generally think that Genesis Chamber is a little bit underpowered, but there might be something to that. Okay. Land is a fine draw here, so definitely getting an oven. We're going to play our cat. And then I can get 3 counters on this, which is not enough to attack through the Goyf, so I'll just blast the red main phase, I guess. And I can block the Tarmogoyf with Familiar and sack it. Throw the Squirrel twice. March of Otherworldly Light is gas. Yeah, I've heard like everybody that's been playing with March of Otherworldly Light has been saying that it's really good. So I'm actually like pretty excited to play with the card. I appreciate you telling me that. I'm not sure exactly like how many. Oh, dude, Shadowspear is that card's pretty good here, huh? It's maybe beatable. Copium. Okay, so I can triple block the Goyf. I triple block the Goyf and keep one of my creatures. No, they all die. Because, yeah, they go 3, 3, 2. Is that fine? That's probably not fine. I think I'll wait. Yeah, I'll wait on the... Oh, no, sorry, I don't need to wait because I just get to sack it again, right? That's their Bauble trigger, not mine. Okay, Synthesizer, hopefully is a good draw. Let's go with the Constructs. So I can play this and either leave up Squirrel activation or put Lurrus in my hand. I think I'll go for Lurrus in hand. And then I'll attack with the Familiar. And now my blocks are a lot better because my Squirrel is going to be a 6/6, and my Constructs are going to be either 5/5s or 4/4s if I have the food token in play or not. Alright, wrong line. Or, yeah, the worst line. But yeah, maybe with the Spellbomb in play, just holding up the activation was better anyways, right? But we do have a block. Then they see it and they don't want to offer it to us, which is, of course, reasonable. So Squirrel becomes a 6/6. It is good. It's about to be bigger than the Tarmogoyf. Bigger than most of my opponent's removal as well. Oh, they also didn't... Oh, sorry. They didn't Spellbomb me. They probably should have, to be honest. So do I sack the Synthesizer to draw a card? Or do I sack it to make a 2/2? I think I'll draw a card, gain a life. Yeah, this version I don't think has enough artifacts for Arcbound. Like, you don't have Blood Fountain. Not to say that there's like not possibly a way you could build it with it, but I don't think it's correct to. You have Black Mana for Spellbomb. I mean, yeah, it would be still worth it to trade Spellbomb for Familiar here, especially when their Black Mana is taxed by Lurrus and they're getting more cards off Lurrus. I think I actually sack a Construct here. That way they can't Nihil Spellbomb my Cauldron Familiar. Too bad I'm not getting an extra food, but well, it's fine, I guess. They won't. I think it's a very good exchange for them to exile my Cauldron Familiar, so I'm trying to play around it. Like, maybe they won't, but I think it would be incorrect for them to not. Okay, Disciple is definitely a fine draw. I think I'm still passing. Kids are played second Swamp over third Blast. I haven't considered that exactly. I don't think that you want to add a land, though. And I don't think you want a second Swamp either. You have 20 mana sources, which is honestly like, I mean, it's like you probably want to count it as like 18 because of Saga. But yeah, it's 18. Like, look at our curve. It's like, you don't need to add a land. Have you been missing sack outlets for artifacts? We're 3-0-6-0 with our first league of the deck. The deck's been performing well. I don't feel like I've been missing sack outlets for artifacts now. Okay, second Goyf. 13 black sources could be low sometimes. Are you counting the Springleaf Drum? Because 14 should be pretty good, I think. This is also cast Squirrel, so this is not quite a black source, but it does help cast the Squirrel. So it's like, yeah, so it's like 13 black sources, 14 lands that cast Squirrel, and the Springleaf Drum. I think it's fine. Okay, so this attack means they're going to try to deal 2 damage to the Squirrel Pyrite Spellbomb, probably. So I'm going to block, sack Familiar to get it to 9/9, sack Food to make it a 10/10. Then I can activate the... Yeah, I can just activate Squirrel to make it an 11/11. So if they have Heat, obviously we get a little blown out, but... I can also sacrifice Food for mana, too. Okay, so they sack their Spellbomb, which actually does trigger the Disciple, but I can Just sack the other food token to bring the squirrel back. This is a stack right here. This is a stack. They are going to get to gain a ton of life. Save targets. Yeah. Always yes. Always yield. Oh, that doesn't save the target, does it? Save targets. The Goyf does shrink down to 6/7. But if they do have a heat, they get to kill by Goyf. But I can sack the squirrel for a card at least. They do have a heat. Is there any way I can get 2 counters? I don't. If I draw Galvanic Blast, I only have 1 more fetchable anyway, so I think I'm gonna fetch now. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I had 2. I thought I did for a little bit when I was bringing the deck. I only have 3 Blood Crypts. I did add the 4th one. Looks like. Yeah, I guess I'm not gonna try to play to draw Galvanic Blast. I'll just sacrifice it. Ooh, and I drew my own Shadowspear. Okay. Maybe a little too late, huh? So I need to kill this Lurrus with the do this now because of I guess they're not gonna be able to Nihil Spellbomb me. Am I sacking the Familiar, the Construct, or the Sideboard? I think I'll just sack the Construct. How did Galvanic Blast? Sorry, I meant Shrapnel Blast. Shrapnel Blast would have grown the other squirrel big enough to survive. Yeah, Shrapnel Blast, sorry. Pass back. They didn't crack Bauble. It's actually kind of weird that they didn't crack Bauble, right? Yeah, maybe it's because of Disciple. I'm not sure. So they see their top card. I think they're drawing it with Spellbomb. This is kind of scary, because if this is a removal spell for Squirrel, we probably lose. Okay, it's just a Wrenn and 6. They're going to kill my Disciple, though. Then this becomes a 13/13, and then they have 14 power, unfortunately. So we need a little help. Another Oven would be pretty good. I guess I can activate Squirrel's ability. Okay, so I'm gonna sack the Familiar, throw the Squirrel, activate Squirrel's ability, sack the food token. And then I just cast the drum, hope my opponent doesn't draw a removal spell for Squirrel. I can sack the drum to the Squirrel end of turn. Gilded, thank you for the 8 months. Appreciate ya. They can get a Saga back next turn. Probably not too worried about Saga. That's definitely their draw step. Or probably their draw step. No green. I have green with the Springleaf Drum. What did you want to bring back Cat and sack it? Well, if I bring back Cat... Oh, you want to bring back the Cat, sack the Cat? Yeah, that would have been a better line. Sorry. Still learning the deck. Can't Squirrel sack creatures. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I should have done that. Okay, so I block here. This becomes a 14/14, and it doesn't die to heat. They've already activated Wrenn and 6, right? They've already activated Wrenn and 6, so... I mean, what am I missing? 14/14, block here. Yeah, I think they messed up. Beseiju? They Beseiju my Shadowspear? I mean, I'd be okay with that. That could be what it is, yeah. It's 13/13. It's about to be 14/14. I know this is a complicated board. Dead to push? Obviously, they would have already pushed it. They would have... obviously, it's dead to push. Like, what are we talking about? Yeah, they say oops. They definitely have their last card is definitely Unholy Heat. Do I have lethal? It's gonna be close. Put my opponent down to 15. Sack to the familiar to the squirrel. 17/17, trample lifelink. Dash Ragavan I think does it. Oh, they're gonna heat it. That's fine though. Oh, they're not heating it. Okay. Well, I get a Ragavan trigger. Now they'll heat, I guess. I'm at 39. I can probably afford the 2 life. Also grows the squirrel. Yep. Okay. Yeah, they should have blocked the Ragavan. Right? Or was Ragavan... Maybe they're still dead if they block the Ragavan. No, it's the same amount of damage. Alright, GG. What a that was game 1. That was game 1. Pretty wild. Okay, so Needle for explosives is probably good. I think I'm like 2 Alpine Moons. And then Spellbomb. Spellbomb's okay. I think I'm interested in cutting 2 Disciples against the Red and 6 deck, and then 2 Shrapnel Blast again. Get a snack real quick. Okay. I'm gonna keep this hand. I'm gonna do this deck tech. Dimir Urza. I mean, I know Emery's got synergy with your Thopter Sword combo, but I really dislike that Emery is like so weak. Well, hold on, what is this? It's like Emery's like the only card that seems super weak to removal in this deck, which is kind of the problem turning on removal. Secret Door, a 1 mana 0/4 defender, 5 mana to venture into the dungeon. Well, I don't know what venturing into the dungeon does. Well, okay, I kind of do. They name Ravenous Squirrel? Okay, that is not the card to name. That is not really, doesn't really accomplish that much. I mean, it's like, can you please tell me what the idea behind secret, like, is there like a specific room in the dungeon that you're trying to venture into? Yeah, Heart Events is already in there. It's already in there. Okay, so I think I'm playing Saga Familiar here. Kind of be a little bit better against removal. Something that taps the Springleaf Moon there and blocks monkeys. Okay. Well, you already so you just want 8 effects like that. I don't know. I feel like I might just play Metallic Rebuke for more interaction. You already have Hard Evidence. I think you're probably a bit too. Oh, you're also playing. I missed that you're also playing Springleaf. I mean, if you're playing Springleaf Moonstare, you just want the 0 mana artifact creatures. Like you just want Midnight, right? Midnight also blocks Ragavan, and then you probably want Ornithopter as well. Okay, Lurrus in the hand. I can maybe get a Spellbomb off the Saga. Now I've got a Galvanic Blast. I'm also gonna hit a land off the Synthesizer. Easy. How does he do it? Maybe get a Springleaf Drum off the Saga. We'll see. I was thinking Academy Runes is pretty bad, where your mana's like, I don't know, like I would rather play. I don't know, maybe in this version it's okay, but. Oh, I also just realized you're not playing Saga. You gotta play Saga, man. Saga's just way too good. You're even playing the Saga tutor targets. You're even playing an Aether Spellbomb and a Needle. You gotta put Saga in this deck. I don't know what to tell you. What are my thoughts on Architect? I don't know. I have no preference for any of the deck builders, to be honest. They all get the job done. Yeah, I feel like you know, if you want to play the drums, you need to play Midnight Ornithopter. But I think like this build could be built without drum and just Moonsnare prototype, and you could be better against creature removal, which in my mind would be like the reason to play a version like this compared to another version. Okay, let's make a token and then Galvanic Blast the Lurrus off of Springleaf Drum. Thought I misclicked the drum for a second. Do I use deck building websites? I use the MTGO interface. I don't use Stream Decker to build the decks. Sideboard looks pretty good to me. But yeah, I might like to see the Metallic Rebukes in the main, and see you go off of Secret Door, off of Springleaf Drum, in on Urza Saga, and just be like the affinity deck that's more resilient to creature removal. I feel like it's the natural fit for the Warrior deck. That's my thought. Ratchet Bomb is a Ratchet Bomb. Okay. I'm gonna Pithing Needle Ratchet Bomb. Play Anvil. Sack the Synthesizer to Anvil. Hope to find a lamb. Yeah, you could keep the Emery. I do have to say Emery is a really fragile card. Your deck might be better without Emery, but it would be fine. Emery might be good enough to keep still. But like I think if you do cut the Emery, maybe your deck is better because it just gets to be really resilient to removal. Well, a pretty good turn. Yeah, Squirrel was great in Limited. I remember that. You actually did a decent amount of MH2 Limited. I usually like the Masters formats, the Horizons formats. This was certainly no exception. Shrapnel Blast is a Shrapnel Blast. I think we're gonna play this a little slower. Play Squirrel, Anvil. Yeah, I think they really messed up naming Ravenous Squirrel. But I just still get the triggers here. And now my construct becomes a 7/7. So I think I can probably get it send it in. Jump block would be great. Tree speaking with 9 months, appreciate you. Oh, Spellbomb. Was it not cry for lack of Kolaghan's Command? Yeah, you guys are all just addicted to Kolaghan's Command. We had to have an intervention and declare that you just can't put Kolaghan's Command in every red-black deck just because it's the sweetest card ever. Yeah, I really don't like the Urza versions of the Orion decks either. I know some people like them, though. Just not for me, perhaps. Pinging themselves. Yeah, this list has felt pretty cracked. Liking this over Junsack. I mean, this is a very small sample size, but this deck has felt amazing so far. Alright. So we are 4-0-8-0 with our very first league with the 75. Pretty exciting. I'm going to go ahead and get a prediction going for the trophy, and I'm going to eat a handful of M&Ms. I'm going to put the M&Ms away. This hand's great if it draws a cat. I'd feel like somewhat comfortable keeping this hand on the play against a Lurrus deck. I think on the draw it could be a little slow. It could also be hard to mulligan against a Lurrus, right? What are my thoughts on Helia combo? I saw that. I think it was one of the Zoomers. It was either Jujubin or Milan was playing Helia combo to a good finish recently. I think it's probably a little underplayed. It was either Bean or Milan, one of the Zoomers. It's hard to keep track of all the younglings. Yeah, like if you lose Anvil, like you just play Arya's deck if you lose Anvil, right? But the idea is like Synthesizer, Anvil play really well together, especially in this deck with the low mana curve. And then they also enable Disciple of the Vault to work, and then your Galvanic Blast, Shrapnel Blast also don't work if you lose the artifact synergy. So it's just like the whole deck falls apart, I think, without Anvil being in the deck. I don't think there's another good enabler. Talking like a boomer will be into homeownership. I know. Our realtor seems really good though. We had dinner with our realtor yesterday. She actually paid for dinner, which was really nice. And we sat and talked for like an hour and a half. So I feel like I'm in good hands on the home ownership journey. Deep in the tank on their mulligan decision. I think I'm going to keep, but don't love it. What's their commission? It's, I don't know, pretty standard. Is everyone in Texas waiving inspections? She said it's pretty common. Yeah, like something like 2.5%, 2 to 5 to 3. Yeah. It's. She said it's becoming more common for people to waive inspections, but we're gonna like she's talking about how like we're obviously not gonna like lead on like the waive inspections in our initial offer. We want to make sure that like we get a good offer in that works best for me, not the seller necessarily. Kid Joey 7 months, appreciate ya. And Matthew the 30 months, let's go. Speaking of home buyers. Yeah. I'm also the buyer, exactly. The seller is the one that pays the commission, so yeah, it doesn't really matter that much to me. But she was also really nice. Yeah, I think it's I think we're gonna get along. We're actually gonna go see a house tonight too. We're looking at a house tonight that like it seems like no, don't mill me. No. It all falls apart, chat. It all falls apart. Fuck. Oh, I should save this for Anvil. Our hand is also so bad against mill too. It's just so slow. Worst case scenario. It all comes crashing down. Virginia, people are getting like 30 offers in a couple hours. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be hard. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough time. I know. I'll figure it out. I think we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. Tasha's Hideous Laughter is it's just got to be like the most lethal ever, right? Bonus reading. Okay, so we can get a Cauldron Familiar back by sacking our construct to the oven. If only we had a Gaia's Blessing. I don't know. The problem with Gaia's, I don't know. Like it's really Tasha's Hideous Laughter in this deck that I feel super scared of. Like it's probably gonna hit us for like 30 cards if we're lucky. If that's like, oh, it only hit us for 30 cards this time. Tank Tasha's. Okay, I don't need to sack anything yet. They didn't Tasha's me. I do know that they have got a Drowned block, so I'm not super likely to commit the Anvil here unless my Ragavan gets drowned. Okay, didn't get drowned. Maybe they'll drown the Synthesizer. I probably should have cast Ragavan before playing the land. Another reader though. Yeah, all the raise the mana curve believers. Pretty happy against the Tasha's deck. Yeah, little bit of a missequence there. Okay, I do need to sack. I need to sacrifice on my turn in order to get the token here. Pass back. Yeah, I agree. I don't think they have got Tasha's in hand. It might like our clock is like really slow and grindy here, right? Like this deck and these hands are really good at like outgrinding your opponent, not as good at like outracing Mill necessarily. Why did I go to combat first? I mean, my opponent has an 0-2 and I'm attacking with a 1-1. Like I'm not gonna get to deal any damage. Fuck. 8 cards in the library. Cycle Anvil for the drain. No, it's more important to get the food for the familiar, which gives you a drain. Okay, I'm gonna bring in the Thoughtseizes. I think I'll trim 1 Anvil and be 63 cards. Maybe in this matchup that's... No, I'll be 62, cut the Shadowspear too. I think this feels good. Did I forget Emrakul in the sideboard? I don't know. The Emrakul in the sideboard doesn't help enough, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it helps us tank 1 Tasha's. Pirated? I don't think so. Shadow Skull smashing to fight Laughter? I mean, yeah, I guess, but it's also like Shadow Skull smashing makes your deck worse in every single other matchup, you know? I don't know. Like, Hardened Scales gets to just be dead to Tasha's. Why can't we just be dead to Tasha's, huh? We have Thoughtseize for Tasha's. Yeah, play 4 Emrakul in the sideboard. Soulguide Lantern can't exile your own graveyard. Spellbomb can. You could bring it in. I think I'm gonna leave it at home though. Yeah, it's okay. You just lose the mill sometimes. Veil Summers. We're not really in green. Veil Summer also doesn't stop Tasha's. It doesn't target the opponent. Oh yeah, smashing's also yeah mana value too. Yeah, it's not the white one. Amaria's called. I don't know, man. I think you just lose the mill probably, or at least like we can get lucky. We are a fast deck. Like we can like pretty easily Goldfish turn 4, and so it is possible to race our opponent. Yeah, our hand there was also like just particularly bad against them, where it was like maybe good against like Grixis Shadow, because we saw the Lurrus, because it was like our hand was pretty slow and grindy, but it was definitely not good against their deck. Okay, going to 5. It always feels so like rough when you're playing a bad matchup and your opponent's just, you know, they're taking their time. They took the max time for sideboarding. I've used a little less than 2 minutes. They've used almost 7 minutes. They just make you so long to just destroy you. They make you wait so long, and they just cast Natasha's Hideous Laughter on turn 3 and destroy you every single time here. We're mulling to 5. Not the best feeling. Yeah. Obviously, we can guess why they're making it. Why they're taking a long time. There's millions of reasons. It's their time. They're free to take it. It does just feel horrible though. It does feel pretty bad. Can I actually maybe keep this hand? I can go Oven on turn 1, then turn 2 play Synthesizer looking for a land, so I've got 2 looks at a black source. Probably get a mulligan. Yeah, maybe their girlfriend found the dog in the cold. Maybe they'll time out. Okay, they're here. They're here. I'm gonna go to 5. They also mulled to 6. Okay, this hand is much better than the other hands we've seen. I think I'll go. I think I'll put back Synthesizer. I could put back Synthesizer Mire since fetching is kind of bad against the archive traps. Can maybe lean on Ragavan for mana, maybe draw a different land. And then, you know, next turn I do get to go Cat Oven on turn 2, which isn't too bad. But it also mulls to 5. They might just like be mulling to Tasha's. Hopefully they don't have Ruin Crab too. When you mulligan, you actually put more cards back in your library to combat the opponent's mill. So I think I changed the list. The list has been feeling very good so far. Our sample size is admittedly pretty low though, but I've been liking it. In our small sample size, I've been liking it. Opponent, please. Please just cast your Tasha's. Yep, I'm gonna cast that one. I'm gonna cast that one. You better have 3 fetch lands in your hand, opponent. You better have 3 fetch lands in your hand. I'm probably gonna minus target them. I think I'm gonna mill myself. Let's exile some Tasha's. Nope. Yeah, it is also always possible when you play the Ragavan deck to outmill them. Did you play a lot of fetches in Field of Ruins because of their crabs? Yes! Yes! Perfect. Oh man, we might take a game against Mill. Oh man. Take your time, opponent. Take your time. You got 15 minutes. Falling down the hourglass. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think they revealed Lurrus game 1 and they cited it in Ashiok, and we're getting a little paid off for it, I think. Okay, here I'm gonna go Oven, Familiar, Familiar. I want to cast a second Familiar, so this way if they surgical my cats, then I still have 1. I think I'll sack main phase just like to reduce the chance that they surgical this turn cycle. Did I get any Tasha's? Got 1. Okay, Field of Ruin. I land the tops for mana, but just colorless, and they can't sack it and get a land off of it. They can cycle a Fractured Sanity though. Can we choose not to search for Saga? I don't think so. Doesn't matter though. We take game 2. One more, baby. One more. Might cut the 3rd anvil on the draw. Like, probably don't want to draw more than 1. Maybe go down to 61. Maybe play the Spellbomb. Spellbomb also kind of slow on the draw. Let's just do this. Pretty exciting. Pithing Needle for the fetch. Can't you feel the fine? But yeah, well, we don't like we wouldn't want to search because of trap. The reason to not search is to not get trapped. But I think you have to search off Saga. But you can feel the find. 61. Yeah, intentional 61. We're playing against Mill. It's pretty fine to board in like 1 to 3 cards against Mill. Yeah, Needle, Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Looking for a land. Looking for a land. No lands. Okay, will we be ahead 10 minutes on the clock before my opponent makes their mulligan decision? I think we might be. I think we might be ahead 10 minutes before my opponent makes the mulligan decision. They have to get down to 11:59, which is in like 1 minute 30 seconds. Dude, boarding in the Lurrus might actually be a 5-head play against Tasha's. Because we're like never companioning it, probably. I played Red White Stoneblade updated yesterday. You can find it in the Stream Decker. I did play Lion Sash. Shots felt pretty good. When I play for clock, if I always concede if I'm 0% to win, but the clock is part of the game. Like if my opponent times out, they time out. But if I feel that I am 0% to win, I'll concede. They did not. They actually made it back. Oh, we're still making our Mulligan decisions actually. Okay, I'm gonna keep this. Am I keeping this? Doesn't have Ragavan. Doesn't have Squirrel. I'll try it. Yeah, I mean, my opponent is playing, like, you know, glacially slow, but it's also true, like, games 1 and 2, like, didn't go more than, like, 4 turns, so they still have 13 minutes on their clock, which is plenty of time for them to finish this match, despite their pace of play. Ragavan off the top, and then I've got an interesting decision on do I play the Bauble or not, because if I hold the Bauble, I can potentially trigger Anvil with it. I'll play it and then I'll decide to crack it or not later. I don't need to decide if I'm gonna cast it now, just if I'm gonna crack it. I can decide on their end step. Hold it to play around drown. Yeah, you still have to don't pop it, of course, but yeah. Okay, I think I'm gonna pop it. Yeah, of course they probably have bad internet. It just, you know, bad internet or double queuing just feels bad to like be when you're playing a bad matchup and your opponent's, you know, like 10 minutes behind on clock and takes max time for sideboarding. It just doesn't feel very good. Okay, so man, if I obviously like I can't have it all, but having the Bauble here would have been so nice. Just trying to think if I play the I should probably play the 1 mana creatures this turn. Maybe top deck something. Yeah, Mill definitely punishes Lurrus decks, but it punishes us like more than like most Lurrus decks. Second Field of Ruin, so if they have Tasha's, they can't use it this turn, but we get a mountain. I wonder if I'm supposed to use my mana to Galvanic Blast them now, because my mana is pretty taxed. It is only 2 damage instead of 3, but I'm not super close to getting Metalcraft. One Archive Trap. Only 1. Blast is 4. It's only 1 right now. I think I'll wait, but again, we're taxed on mana here. I think it would have been maybe okay to. Yeah, I just don't have anything to trigger the Anvil this game, or at least not yet. Playing Anvil gives me another artifact, so like next turn if I'm making a token, it's a bit better. I'll play the Anvil. Anvil itself, I mean, it does trigger the Squirrel. It does trigger the Squirrel, but it doesn't trigger both Squirrels here. It's you know, an extra point of damage. But I think the Anvil presents more value as the game goes on. I agree that I think it would be fine, but this is probably better to not to. Like the reality is, like with this hand, I can't kill them in the next 2 turns. So I'm gonna have to play a slower game and hope that they can't mill me out. I do probably lose to 1 Tasha's here. This is the first turn they have Tasha's mana. They have 4 cards in their hand. They haven't had it all match. Here it is. I have 4 cards left in my library. Fuck. Okay, so we do get to go dash Ragavan. Oh, 29 because of the Soul Guy Lantern. To be honest, 29, we're pretty lucky it was that low. 29, can't complain too much. That's kind of it's not as bad as it could have been. I do think we have lethal next turn, but it's probably gonna be a little slow. I mean, we know one of their 3 cards is drowned. Obviously, we need their hand to be consistent of entirely interactive cards and lands. And then maybe we can get there. Especially with the blast. Let's hope they don't go tank, milieu. MTGO seems like a struggling sub. It's just my opponent being slow. Yeah, they also have a lantern for another card. We don't have Metalcraft. We get Metalcraft next turn. Well, I guess it kind of depends on if we have a Saga token. We could, if we hit them with Ragavan. So maybe not, huh? Yeah, do we have anything in the deck to get off of the Saga? I don't know. I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be pissed if they tank for 2 minutes and then mill me. Come on, dude. Okay, sacks the lantern. No longer pissed. Unpissed. Fuck. They mill me for Xaxes. Good beats. Good beats. Still an awesome league. Still an awesome league. Got some rich doubters. Guess 62 cards was the way, huh? All right, let's run it back though. Very, very impressive league. I'm liking the 74.